Awesome. Hi, everybody. Afternoon. So our call today is a team training, and it's all about writing lists, talking to people, how to write those lists, how to talk to those people on those certain lists, and how to reach out, because the invite is everything, right? Whether you're just inviting them softly to like a coffee date or a tea date, or just getting to like catch up with someone you haven't talked to in a long while, or if you are just jumping in with like, this is a business opportunity for you, or if it's a cold call on someone you've never talked to, there's an approach for everything. And so today we brought on the master, Sarah Haywood. Thank you so much for being here with us. And we're so excited to be a part of this presentation with you. And when we're all done here, we'll follow up with some Q&A. So I'll let you take the floor, Sarah.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, guys, and thanks for being here. Layne, real quick, do you want me to like do the presentation I typically do, or just touch on all of those topics?
I want you to just in the flow to do what feels comfortable to you.
Okay,
honestly,
cool.
if you just want to touch on them or whatever you want to do.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and use the presentation just so people have, something to look at, and then I'll just skip a few things. So, cool. Everybody can see that okay? Is that a good size and everything for everybody?
It's perfect.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So yeah, I think this is the most important part. And I think a big part of it is all of us sharpening our swords before we go out there and try and share it, And so I would say spend a good amount of time really getting comfortable with what we're doing here, plugging in with your upline, hearing other stories, asking them how they've done it. And really, for me, the number one thing is being present with people. The more present that you can be with the person that's in front of you, because ideally, there can be a group of people, but we're really here to help person-to-person marketing. We're here to see how we can serve each individual person and how this can fit in their life. And that's part of the really beautiful thing about our business is that's the beauty, is we have an opportunity to share something in infinite ways, and it really fits quite beautifully into everybody's life. The key is helping them see that and showing them how to do that. So I'll just quickly touch on the connection piece because it is so important. For me, I'm waking up in the morning, I'm connecting to myself, something bigger, and to my why. Why am I here? What am I doing? Who are the people I'm wanting to connect with? Who are the people I want to build a business with? Who are my dream team? Because really that's what we're doing. We're here helping people grow, and this is definitely a process. Really getting clear about the type of people that you're attracting, because for me, I know that this is an energetics game. I know that the more that my ideal team that I want to be working with, I have to be showing up as. If I want people who are leaders, change agents, people who are on the forefront of something big, I know I have to do the same thing. I can't just hope that these people show up and sit back in my cabin in Topanga and pray that the right people will come and build a business for me. That's not how this works. So get really clear about who you're attracting, the type of people that you want to be working with, and make a list. Get really specific about, your dream team and what that looks like. And these are some of the people that I'm inviting into the business and working with. And again, I'm aligning myself with being these things, some of them, I guess all of them. I saw millennial and I'm like, I don't know if I want to align with being a millennial, but millennials are going to be over 50% of the workforce in the next 5 years. So definitely want millennials. We're people farmers. We're here to just plant seeds and water them. And I know, especially at the beginning, because believe me, I was there. I definitely did it at the beginning. There's a little bit of sense of like desperation sometimes when we're needing to build something and we need to pay our bills and we want to be making the money, especially if we've been in it a little bit longer than, some people who find success very quickly here. But really it's your commitment to finding success, but then trusting the process that we just really need to show up and meet everybody where they're at. The season has to be right. The timing has to be right. And really they'll recruit themselves whenever you allow them to and give them the space to do so with the proper steps. So sharing from your heart, making this your own, shining your light, being authentic. I want to give you guys a really Oh no. Oh, I don't know what happened, but whatever. Okay, so last night I drove to San Diego, and there was a yoga and meditation class happening on the beach, and a bonfire afterwards. Well, I got stuck in traffic, so I didn't get there for the yoga and meditation, but I knew that's the perfect prospecting place. It's downtown in PB, San Diego, near where we're having an event. And those are the perfect people that I want to be targeting, that I want on my team. So I went there, and I got there right at the bonfire. They were just lighting it. And I just started connecting with people and networking. And because I had the intention when I left LA to go to this bonfire and attract new business builders, new dream people, it happened like that. Literally on the way walking from my car to the pier, I saw a friend, and she was with two people. And then as we're walking away, I was like, oh, the oil. Like, I'm on a mission to like go share this. And I'm like, oh yeah, here's 3 people I can share it with. One of them already knew about it. She's in cannabis. So I got to share with both of her friends. I was like, oh, I know Bianca, I know you're in cannabis, so you're really familiar with CBD. However, have you guys heard of CBD? And they're like, yeah. Have you heard of CBG? They're like, no. I'm like, great. I'm having an event tomorrow night downtown. I'd love to have you guys. I'm going to be doing a tasting. You can come in, check out what we're doing. And there's also a business opportunity. And I don't know if you've looked at where hemp's going to be in the next 2 years, but it's about to be a $22 billion industry. And I'm definitely going to get a piece of it. So if you want in, come to the event tomorrow, and we'll be giving a presentation on it. So, and that's literally, they were like, cool. And I literally got their numbers. I texted them the flyer with the information. I was like, make sure you RSVP if you're coming, because it's limited seating, which was absolutely true. And then we went on our merry way. And at the bonfire, it literally, like I said, because I had the intention of going there and finding my dream team, finding prospects, the people, the I am gold, the people literally just started coming to us. Katerina and I were there. We were holding the oil. We were sampling it to people, talking to somebody about the opportunity. And I said, yeah, we just opened Japan and Taiwan. This is the power of energy. I'm from Taiwan. This like bright smiling guy with this really big smile. And he was like, what are you guys talking about? So I tell him, I'm like, and I'm trying to keep it brief. I don't want to get into too much information. You don't want to go into the endocannabinoid system, but you want to get people curious. And the way that I did that was I listened first. I listened for my window to get in. When somebody says, hey, I say, hey, where are you from originally? Or I first said, do you live in PV? They're like, yeah. I'm like, where are you from originally? They're like, Connecticut. Cool. What brought you here? Oh, I'm studying, what was it? Some sort of biology, something in biology, I'm like, cool. Have you ever heard of the endocannabinoid system? I'm like, no, I haven't. I said, put that in your phone right now and look it up later. I was like, actually, here's a flyer that talks a little bit about it. But I think you're going to be really intrigued. And my number's on the back. And I'd love to connect with you about it later. I was like, I said, believe me, you're going to be blown away when you learn about this, which is true. Anybody who's in science and hasn't heard of the endocannabinoid system and they get introduced to it, they're like, what? How did I not know about this? So that was one of the touches. The guy from Taiwan, I literally just said to him, hey, we're looking for people to build a team in Taiwan. Do you want to go to Taiwan with us? And he was like, yeah, my parents have owned a business there for over 80 years and they know so many people. So I know it sounds like almost too good to be true, but it's not. And really, that's the power of intention and energetics. And I don't know if Sarah Joy's on this call. Is she? No, she's not. But we talked about the other day, really utilizing Prime My Body as a platform for experimentation with manifestation. For me, I'm really open to big things happening. I'm open to people who I never even imagined would be interested in this opportunity or knew existed on the planet. Just like I didn't know this business model existed. I knew what it was, but I didn't know the power of it. I'm so open and always eager and curious about learning what other people are doing and then how I can weave that into Prime My Body, how I can show them Prime My Body can weave perfectly into what you're doing, and this is how. And that's what my favorite thing to do is fill that gap. Like it says in our presentation, we're here to serve other people. How can we serve you? What do you need? What do you need? And if you don't know somebody who needs something, if you don't need anything, who do you know? Who do you know? I mean, that's how I met Katerina. I said, who do you know? And actually the friend that introduced her now that said, not my circus, not my monkeys. And I said, who do you know? She's now coming to the meeting tonight to look at the opportunity. So again, we never know. People are uneducated. They don't know what's going on. But the idea is we just want to get them curious. We want to get them curious and then get them to an event. And an event can be a call. It can be, a 3-way call with your upline. It's really not about you sharing that information. Steer away from doing that, because I know so many people who think that they need to know everything before they shared the opportunity. And I listened to, there was only like 7 company calls at the time in the first that were recorded on the SoundCloud when I first joined. And I listened to those calls over and over and over and over again. Jim Rohn says, you don't fully get something on a subconscious level until you've listened to it 16 times. Which, by the way, I've just recently discovered 2X, and I've been listening to everything on 2X, and it's so awesome. I'm consuming books and audiobooks and training so much faster, and then I just listen to it again and again and again and again. And I'm actually about to up it to 2.5. And what happens is when we start listening at 2X to things, our neuroplasticity in our brain actually, I don't know if it expands or what it does, but it allows us to learn faster. And then we can amp it up even more and then learn even faster. So I'm really into that right now. But keeping it simple, we just really want to get people to an event, to a call, to the opportunity Zoom. And really, now that we have this opportunity Zoom with Prime My Body that we've been asking for 2 years, we can drive people to that every single Wednesday. Make it an event. Like, hey, my company does a presentation every Wednesday. We're gathering here. We're going to, even with a few friends, like on a text thread, hey, everybody hopping on the presentation, but doing them live, doing in-homes, getting together. I really think that if we make that a priority, it's an opportunity for all of us to connect it as a group, as a community, and get that high-tech, high-touch, but also get the information from the leaders and be able to see all of them. So I think it's an amazing tool that we all have. I also wanted to touch on the app. We're still in the experimental phase because it's also new. And I would love to eventually hear from other people how the samples are going with everybody. But honestly, I went to my chicken list, which I would love to talk about real quick. Everybody write down, make a chicken list. Or if you have your notebook in front of you, write on the top of it, chicken list. And I want to challenge every single person to get 10 people on their chicken list this week and to reach out to at least 2 of them. And your chicken list are the people that you're like, wow, I really want to share this opportunity with, but I'm scared. Like, I'm really scared. I'm scared they're going to say no. I'm going to scared, whatever. You've got fear around it. You're nervous. They're like a big player, a big fish. You got a whale, whoever it is. I really want to encourage you to break past that block and touch them, even if it's just like reconnecting. I recently did it with the founder of Google Ventures. Granted, I asked if I could use his airplane. That was not a very good first touch, but I at least got in touch with him. And I am really scared to present this to him. But then I realized, I don't have to. I don't have to be the person. Somebody in my upline can do that for me. And so when you know that, it makes it a lot easier. And yeah, I really want to inspire everybody to go after those people that you're scared to, whether it's a mentor, a coach, a former teacher. Chad Fagan, who joined my team, I wouldn't say he was necessarily on my chicken list. But it was definitely less comfortable to reach out to one of my business professors than it was my mom. So definitely push past those barriers and just imagine the potential that could come from that. And the way that I want to share this with you too, because yes, a lot of those people, the founder of Google Ventures is not going to build a business, an organization with Prime My Body. However, what I offer him is an opportunity, or will offer him, is an opportunity to become his operational business partner. And what he's going to do is I'm going to ask him to, take a look at the opportunity first. And if he's aligned with the brand, to either do a meeting or send out an email or organize something where he can connect me with people in his organization and his life that might be interested in this opportunity, and say, I'm aligned with this brand. I'm aligned with this company. I believe in what they're doing. I believe they're going to be the global name brand of hemp. And right now I don't have the time or the capacity or the ability to build a business with them. However, my operational business partner, Sarah Haywood, is available to support anybody who's interested in learning more and building a business here. And know that in time, when I do have the time and space, that it is something that I intend to do in the future. But as of right now, I've got a full plate, but I didn't want everybody else to miss out on this opportunity simply because I don't have the time or the capacity at the moment. So letting people know that they don't have to be the person who builds the business. And that may not work for you. Maybe you're not as committed as I am and willing to do that, but I for sure am willing to go for bat for my friends who are NFL players or founders of big, multi-billion-dollar companies. Yes, I will take their prospects who are interested in building a business, and I will show them how to do that. And that's one thing. And utilizing your upline, 3-way calls, and I just want to, there's something I think a lot of new people don't understand, but edification is such an important piece of this. And whenever you're getting on a 3-way call, it should be a quick introduction, no awkward silence or deciding who's going to talk or what's going to happen. You just say, hey, thank you guys so much for getting on the call. I know we're all busy. I wanted to introduce you to my friend so-and-so. And what you're doing is you're illuminating their greatness. You're not only for your upline on the phone to know who they are and how Prime My Body is going to fit in for them, but you want to shine a light on them so that they can be reminded of who they are and what their gifts and their talents are and why you want them here in the first place. It makes them feel good. And then you do the same for your upline. You edify them, meaning you list the things, that the credentials, the accolades, whatever, the highlights of this person that's going to allow your guest or the person that's on this 3-way call to know that what this person is saying is valid for any reason. And, it could be different for everybody, but, she's a leader in the company. She, Veronica Kelly, she spoke at our national conference in Austin, Texas at the Fairmont. She's been here for 2.5 years, has built a phenomenal organization of healers and artists and entrepreneurs, people who are spirit driven and heart centered and really want to make a change in the world. She's all the things you want to illuminate the people that you're introducing. And then that's when you hand it over to your upline and then you give them the call. I just wanted to make that clear because a lot of new people are like, what? I don't really get it. And just introduce and then let your upline do the work for you. And the more the people who lean into that the most are the people that I find have success the fastest here. So, I just want to touch in with Layne really quick and see, maybe, I know we're already 20 minutes in, so I just wanted to see what other key points that you wanted me to touch on real quick.
Can you go into your analogy about like giving someone coffee and not being triggered if they say no? Because that's like one of my favorite analogies you have is like, you're gonna, if you're a waitress and you're giving people coffee and they're like, yeah, I'd love a cup. Where it's like, no, I'm not, I don't want it today. You're not offended if they say no.
Totally. Yeah. So yeah, I think obviously it's something that keeps us from inviting is being afraid of getting a no. And that's the first place to start of knowing that no is not bad. Knowing that no is leading you to another yes. That's really the way that I look at it. And I think so often we associate no with being negative, but don't take it personally. That's the first thing. We should all not be taking anything personally. And if you're not emotionally attached to whether or not this person looks at this opportunity or does this, you're going to find so much success here. If you really feel desperate or the need, or you feel emotionally attached to have somebody either join your team or look at the opportunity, then you're going to struggle. I'm not going to lie. It's not easy and it's not fun, because you are going to get no's. And part of why we're going to, we get paid the way that we do get paid once we build an organization, in 2 to 5 years in residuals, hopefully for the rest of our lives and our children's lives, is because we do this work. We give up the temporary, as Eric Warrior says, you have to be willing to give up the temporary social esteem of those around you who don't understand what this is. And yes, last night in inviting, somebody's like, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. He was actually one of the first people we talked to. And I literally was just like, what's a pyramid scheme? And he was like, oh, and I'm like, no, it's not one of those. And that's definitely illegal. And he was just like, okay, and like walked away. And Katerina looked at me. This is my new affiliate, by the way. She was like, and I was like, it's okay. Then the next person that walked up was like, hey, what's in your hand? And that's when that conversation happened. And had, I reacted, or I didn't say, like, I wasn't like, it's fine, I'd have been like, oh shit, we probably wouldn't have had that opportunity for that yes to make way. So a lot of times when people say no, first of all, we're not trying to get them to say yes to the opportunity. We want them to say yes to looking at the opportunity. That's our job. We're here to educate them about the products, the opportunity, and then show them what this is. And that's by, getting them to a meeting or an event. And so that they can evaluate whether or not this is something that's going to work for them. So again, no is not bad, and use it as your own personal referral system. So for me, I say, great. Who do you know? Who do you know that's looking for health in their body, who has anxiousness? No income claims, or, we don't claim that this cures, treats, or heal anything, but things that like typically if somebody tells me, oh no, I'm not interested. Oh great. Well, who do you know? And I'll describe what that person needs. Who do you know that feels like they don't have enough time? Who do you know that feels like they don't have enough money? Who do you know? No, that just list some things, who do you know that's looking for an opportunity? Or if you know anybody looking for CBD, or who do you know that might be interested in this? And people will give them to you. And then once they start thinking about all the people that they know that might be interested in this, if they can then connect that if they're the ones that enroll first and then be the connector, that there's actually a lot more people in their life that they think are going to be into this. And I will say a lot of people do have stigma around MLMs or being sold to, or even selling things or whatever, but we just have to throw that out the window, because health first, wealth second. We are here to serve people. And if that's your intention, people will feel that. If your intention is to make money off of somebody else, people will feel that. So don't try and get anything from anybody, but show up curious. Ask them what they need. Ask them questions. Evaluate what their needs are way before you even introduce the opportunity. And I know we all get excited and we want to share, especially me. But really, it's like eye droplets of information. You just want to drop the little bits of information of here, enough where they're saying, I'm curious. I want to learn more. I love that. So many people said that to me last night. Wow, you've piqued my curiosity. And that's my intention, to pique their curiosity, to get them to an event, to hear what we're doing so that they can then catch the vision for Prime My Body. I don't remember what my metaphor around the waitress was, but sorry about that.
That was even better. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's something you also instilled in me from the start was, I've had people who have come onto my team and they're like, I don't want to deal with my warm market. I don't want to deal with my hot market. Like that was their chicken list, really was their warm market. And so they're like, I just want a cold market and just jump in. And it's so important to practice with your warm market. Like if you can't get through to your warm market and be able to convey an invite to your warm market, then you're just going to get slayed in the cold market pretty much. And so that was really important because I've got a lot of people who are like, I just don't even want to talk to my family and friends about this. And I was like, well, if you don't use them to practice and to learn and be like, hey, this is my new business, will you just hear me out? You know, like I have some approaches I want to work out. Like, will you guys like give me some feedback? And even that is a warm touch to them, whether you're, you know, trying to help them with their health or whatever. It's just like a way to step in and be like, hey, I really would love your opinions about what I'm doing here, and get some, you know, non-biased feedback from people who have no idea what I'm doing. And that's like really helped my team, like me instilling that in them, which I really love. And then the other thing is that I really appreciate also from you with the cold market is that when you're just like cold calling, say a chiropractic office or whatever, then the women who are who are trained, or the women or men, the people who are trained to like pick up the phone and take all of your calls, they're trained to say no, because they get like 10 to 15 people a day cold calling them about different products, right? And so this is the key, is to get in on their clientele. So like if you're really passionate about a wellness center in your hometown or wherever to be a part of this, then go and be their patient. Go and get on the books, go and talk to them. And then once you're one of their patients, you're no longer a cold client, right? And then they're open to listening to you. You can call them back and be like, hey, I'm your client. I work with whatever doctor, and I'd really love to make an appointment to come in and talk about these products that we were just talking about during my appointment. That's your doorway in. Like if you support a business, they're going to turn around and support you. But cold calling is, if you're just going to like cold call, you're going to get that ice wall. So it's all about incorporating yourself into the cold market and not just coming at it, but like being a part of it. So that was something that you definitely absolutely blew my mind with, that I wanted to share. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And also, as you're getting clear about your dream team and your lifestyle, you know, that's part of what this opportunity does for us. It gives us each the opportunity to create our own lifestyle. So for me, you know, I'm going to conferences, I'm going to conventions, I'm doing online courses with, you know, mastermind courses with people. I'm doing things and going places and registering. And like Layne said, you know, going to these doctors' offices. I would love to incorporate, you know, seeing certain doctors and practitioners on a regular basis. How awesome is that? And then we get to go prospect them. I don't love that word prospect, but whatever. Yes, you know, and so how great. I get to go make an appointment at a doctor that I would love to see. I'm treating myself. I'm creating a lifestyle that's nurturing for me. And then I have an opportunity again to share with them how they can integrate this into their clinic and also be thriving. Yeah, so hang out places, go places that your prospects, your dream team, your people are. If you're feeling like you don't or can't introduce it to the people in your life that are closest to you, or you're being met with resistance, I would look at that too. Like, what is that about? Is it that you've done a bunch of things and your family doesn't believe in you, or that they just think it's another thing? Whatever it is, I would dig a little bit deeper in that too, because if that's the case, like say you've done 5 MLMs and they're like, oh, she's just doing another MLM. That's when you haven't, I mean, maybe it won't work. I haven't done 5 MLMs, so I don't know. But I think if you were like, listen, guys, this is it. The whole reason I did those 4 other MLMs is so that I would have training ground for this opportunity. And when you have conviction that this is it, they're going to have it too. That will translate to them. If you're like, yeah, it's just another thing. Or if you're not talking about it, they're probably going to think it's just another thing. And like Veronica mentioned on the thing, I did what Layne said with her. You know, I called her. I'm like, you're going to love this. I talked way too much though. That's probably where I went wrong the first time. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. No, it was like so bad. And then she was like, fuck, no. Like, oh, sorry. Heck, no. Like, no. But I do want to grab dinner. And I'm like, okay, great. And then I'm like, hey, can I practice my presentation on you? Here's my laptop. You want to give me some feedback? Because you're great at this stuff. And she's like, yeah. So then I'm like going through the presentation. And then I see her like look at me like she knew halfway through. She knew. But what a gift, you know? What a gift. And I told her, I said, this is a good tactic, actually. This works really well. When you sample people the oil and you maybe like hint that there's an opportunity or get them curious, just say, hey, if you can't sleep tonight, give me a call tomorrow. And it works. Like a lot of people are like, you were totally right, I couldn't sleep. Or I'm like, don't be surprised if you can't sleep tonight. Or, you know, just saying. That works. That's a really good tactic. And
I love that tactic now, especially with the CBG, because it lights the brain up. So their brain's going to be like, ding, 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 ding. A great tactic.
Yeah, I think, I see what else. Really, it's about the person in front of you. Oh yeah, another thing is it's like a tennis match. You hit the ball, they hit the ball. You hit the ball, they hit the ball. Don't like nail them with balls. Wait for them to hit it back. When you ask them a question, wait for them to answer. Don't just keep sending them things. And if you're inviting them and they're ghosting you, just touch them. Just send them an emoji or just say, hey, what's up? Or let's get together. And ideally, the whole idea is you want to get face-to-face, even if it's on a Zoom, eye-to-eye, face-to-face, in person if you can, just where you can see and feel each other. Because again, that's what people are craving these days. They're craving to be seen. They're craving to be heard. They want to get out of the rut that they're in. They want community. They want connection. They want health and vitality and abundance. And if you can get on a call with them and show them that that's what you're experiencing, and even if you're not yet, tell the stories of what your upline are experiencing. It was funny when we first started and they were telling us that, and I'm like, yeah, but like what stories? Like there are no stories yet. And even though there were some stories, but now, like, I mean, those of us who have been here for 2.5 years, we have some stories, like we have really unique stories. And everybody has a unique story of how you got here, when you started, how you got started, who you brought in, who left, who's still here. It's all a part of the process. So live that fully and know that it's a unique aspect of this business that I wasn't present to, especially when I was going through all my challenges and people in my upline were telling me this is part of your story. And I was just like, what, that I want to like not do this business because it's so challenging, at the startup phases. But yes, it is a part of my story and I feel so grateful for it. So just know that if you don't have a story to share the company story, share Paul Rogers' story, share JT's story, share Austin's story, share Veronica's story, share my story, Renee's story, Aaron's story. And if you don't know these stories, get to know them. Ask people. And they don't even have to be your upline. People on your team, what's your story? What's your experience with the oil? How is this working for you? Whose lives are being changed? Like, just get together with your people, get together with your community. And that's what we do. We share these stories. We share this opportunity. And there's a guy named Michael Klaus, and he says the number of times that the stories are being told, whether it's your story, the company story, or upline story, in a day will determine the size of your check. So how many times are you telling somebody's story? Even if it's 2 minutes of like, hey, whatever your story is, and sharing your experience. I don't have panic attacks anymore, or, I don't have any, I was going to say uncontrollable bowel movements, but not me. That wasn't a personal story. That was just one that came through. But that is a story for somebody who has Crohn's disease, and like they took that oil. So anybody that has Crohn's disease, now knows that there's a guy who took our oil and stopped having that issue. So, but if we're not sharing those stories and listening and asking, we're not going to know how this can really serve people. So dive in, get really curious about the endocannabinoid system, how it works, get really curious about CBD, do your own research, encourage and invite other people to do their research, get them curious, don't give too much information, and know that this is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but just keep filling the funnel, keep planting the seeds, and then make sure you follow up with people. Have some sort of system that works for you. I don't have a system, but I'm working on it.
You're like the master of systems. This is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, that point of like really tapping people into their upline and knowing their story, and not to go too deep into my story, but what I do have to offer is that I've been in this industry for 20 years. I have seen it from absolutely completely illegal on every step through all the legal things as to where it's at today. And I'm absolutely science brain too. And so when people are tough and they, you know, they come at you with like a million scientific questions, I would love to help. I have classes. I would love to help educate you, and I'd love to help educate them and just to open their minds, because there's a lot of information out there. And frankly, we're cutting edge. We are so far ahead of what's out there on the industry that people don't have knowledge of. And so to help them tap into what's CBG and what's sonicated liposomal and all those things, I'm absolutely here to help you guys with that stuff. And my biggest reminder is, if someone's coming at you aggressively, like you were saying, that guy walked up to you and was like, is this a pyramid scheme? Like, if someone's coming up to you and they're like, well, you know, THC is so important, and they're just like aggressive, any kind of aggressive energy, just remember that we're not here to fight. We're not here to convince anybody, right? We're just connecting dots. We're here of service. We have information. We're happy to share. But if someone's coming at you, you know, just drop it. Just be like, okay, that you can have that. Like, just let them have that, and let them feel, you know, let them feel confident in what it is that they're bringing at you, and just be okay with that, you know, because we're not here to like backlash. We're not here to like try to convince anybody. So yeah.
To that real quick.
Yeah.
As far as like, yeah, utilizing your upline, getting the training, all that. Also, the magic and the beauty of not knowing any of that stuff and being transparent about that, of saying, I don't know, actually, I don't really understand what CBG does for the body yet, but I know I like the product, but I can connect you with somebody who does. What that does on a subconscious level is automatically lets them know they don't have to know either. Wow, I can join this business and be successful and have somebody that knows what they're talking about and could help me, even if I don't know. And so that's a key thing too, in like keeping it simple, keeping it, you know, just know that you don't have to know everything. And actually, the people who find a lot of success here, and I ask them over and over again, I'm like, how did you get where you are in the company? And they're like, I just use the tools. I use my upline. I did the 3-week calls. I did the presentation, and I wasn't the expert. And so I know a lot of us are really smart and want to be the experts, myself included.
Even though, you know, I could teach a class on any of these things, when someone that I'm in my warm market asks me a direct question, I'm always like, that's a great question. Let me get you on the phone with ... And I still connect them, because when it comes to warm markets, people, there's this karmic thing, and they just, even though they love you and they know you're educated, they just like to hear that from someone else. They really are going to learn a lot better from an outside source.
Awesome. Cool. Anything else, Layne?
No, I think that's all set. Veronica, do you have anything you want to add in?
Yeah, just real quick. Awesome job, guys. That was wonderful. I'm so excited to have this Zoom as a resource. Yes, good job. I wanted to speak really quickly to systems. Amy, Joe, and I put together a training on prospecting systems. It's on our videos under Team Savvy, and we have 2 examples. Hers is a handwritten way to keep track of your prospecting. Mine is a digital. So if you guys want to adopt one of those systems, it's on our Team Savvy under videos, and I believe it's the one that's 8 minutes and 56 seconds. Now that I've been doing this for so long, my prospect list is so large. If I didn't have my digital system that I'm using to follow up, so many people would fall through the cracks. So please feel free to watch those videos. Yep, it's on Facebook in our Team Savvy. I wonder if I can share it here with you guys. I can't share it to people who aren't on, but here, I'm gonna put the link in the chat really quickly for those of you guys that are in Team Savvy. Everyone here should be. But yeah, this is just our systems that work. And yeah, like I said, with so many cold prospecting, because I go to a lot of events and a lot of networking and meet the people, do 1 or 2 touches with them. And I honestly, to be really fair, I forget who they are because they're not immediately in my life. So having this system to come back to helps me when I sit down and when I go through the prospecting reach out, to have the notes, to see when the last time I reached out is, and to keep it fresh and updated. So it works for me. And if anybody wants any clarity on that or wants me to share the document with them, just hit me up and I'm happy to.
Awesome. Thanks, VK.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for, showing up today and sharing all your secrets to success. I mean, it's so important. I've got all these things written down in notes here, and it's, the key is in the follow-up. The key is in like following the keys of success that we just laid out here. So thank you, Sarah, for giving us your time and for all of your wisdom here and all of your support. And with that, I'm just going to say have a great day, and I'll talk to you all later.